started on working on our big king size farmhouse throw. We're going to be using a 16mm Q hook. This is a Susan Bates hook, crochet hook. It's nice and long and it has a really good grip here. So I really like to use this style of hook. You're also going to need a yarn needle for bulky yarn, so make sure it has the big head. And we're going to be using Bernat blanket yarn. So to make this large king size blanket, I'm using 8 300-gram balls, or in total you're going to need 2,400 grams of Bernat blanket yarn. Okay, so we're going to begin by making a slip knot. And then you can just attach that to the hook. And our blanket is going to be approximately 80 inches wide. So in order for my blanket to be that wide, I need to chain 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just do nice even chains, and I'm going to finish my chain and then I'm going to meet you back. Okay, so if you don't want your blanket to be as big, or you want to make your blanket slightly wider, you're going to want to chain an even number, because this stitch pattern works in an odd number of stitches. So be sure to chain an even number and then you can play around with the size of your blanket. So to begin, we're going to do 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet in the second chain from the hook. So here's our first chain, here's our second. So 1 single, go in through the chain, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook. A double crochet, we're going to yarn over, go back through that same chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Next, we're going to skip this chain and then we're going to do a single and a double in the next. So skip over and do 1 single crochet, yarn over and do a double crochet. We're going to skip the next chain and do the same thing in the next chain. So this is the pattern that we're just going to repeat all the way across until we get to the final 2 chains, and then I'm going to meet up with you and show you how to complete the first row. So 1 single and 1 double. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so I've worked to the end of my chain. I have 2 chains remaining. We're going to skip this chain and we're going to do just 1 single crochet in the last chain. And then you can chain 1 and turn. So this is our stitch pattern. So in our very first stitch, we're going to work 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet. So single, yarn over, pull through 2, double, yarn over, go through, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now we'll skip the double crochet from the previous row and we're going to work into that single crochet. So we skip a stitch and do a single and double in the next. So as you go along your row, You'll always be doing your stitches in that single crochet from the previous row. So 1 single and 1 double. Skip the next stitch and do a single and a double into the next. Our entire blanket is worked in this stitch pattern. It's really simple, a great project you can do while watching TV. So now what we'll do, you can play around with your color pattern, but what I've done, I've used yarn that I've had on hand. So in total, I have 4 different colors, and I've used 2 complete large 300 gram balls of baby sand. So I've completed 18 rows in baby sand, and then I've changed to baby dove, and I have done 6 rows of baby dove. I've then used a full ball of light teal, and I have completed 9 rows with baby teal, which uses up a full ball, a full 300 gram ball, and then I alternate the pattern as I go. So check the pattern in the description, and you can do the exact same color pattern, or you can mix it up. So your blanket is going to be a total of 72 rows of this, just what I've shown you, and that's all you need to do. Okay, so I've worked to the end of row 2. I have 2 stitches remaining, so we skip that stitch, and in the final stitch we just do 1 single crochet and chain 1 and turn. This is a super easy pattern, but you're going to see the beautiful texture as we continue to work. It's really fast and easy, a great beginner project, but the finished effect is so nice and cozy. All of your family and friends are going to want one of these blankets. So I have in 4 inches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches. So 5 stitches in 4 inches. And for my rows, 4 inches, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 rows as well. Check this here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, we've got about 5 rows. So you're going to find all those details in the pattern. Okay, so I've worked a great deal at this blanket off camera. So this is my first color that I began showing you, and I've used 2 large 300 gram balls of Bernat blanket, which is about 18 rows. You can check out the pattern in the description box, so you'll get the details for how many rows for each section. Okay, so my next section, I used 200 grams and I did 6 rows. Then I've used a full ball of 300 grams. I maybe had a little bit taken off this ball because I'm just using up my stash. So I have about 8 rows here. If I'd had a complete ball, I could have maybe got 9, but I'm just using up product that I have on hand. So I was just going with what I had to give a fun pattern to this blanket. I've used 2 more 200 grams again here. So I've done another 6 rows. And then we move into the nice cream color, and I used 2 balls again with 18 rows of cream. And now I'm back on, I've used 200 grams and I'm just finishing off. And what I want to show you here is how to join in a new ball of yarn. For Bernat blanket, I love the thumb join method. It's just really quick and easy. It makes a great knot. So taking your new yarn in your right hand and your first ball in your left, join in, wrap around your finger twice, and then the third time go between your thumb and your tails. Tuck your tails down under your thumb, and you want to hold down with your thumb as you pull. And it just makes a nice knot, and then you can just keep working. So this blanket is basically, the whole thing is made just in doing this simple stitch, a single crochet and a double crochet. So you can make this blanket as big as you want. This is going to be a fair size. It goes to about, you're looking at about the width of a king size bed, and not maybe quite as long as what a typical comforter would be, but it actually will go up the bed quite a fair ways. I'm going to model it on my king size bed when I'm all finished. If you've finished your single crochet stitch, that's fine, you can change it, or you can bring in your new color and pull through. Pull that tight, pull your ends tight, and then just chain one and turn. And then all of these ends we'll just need to weave in at the end. So you turn your work. So I change all my colors at the end, so you will have a little bit of each ball left over because this blanket is so wide, some of them won't, you may have quite a bit as it seems left on your ball, but because you're going along such a long row, you just have to use what you can. So a single and a double in every other stitch. Okay, so you're going to want to weave in all of your ends. And what you want to do is just hide your end through your light color stitches. So for the cream, I'll go through my cream stitches. So you want to weave in one way, go one way, and then go back in the opposite direction just to secure that end really well. Blankets do get a lot of washing, so just you want to make sure that you weave all of these ends in really good. And once you've completed that, you just want to trim and just work down the side of your blanket and make sure to get all of these ends weaved in. Now if you've made your blanket all one color, you won't have as much weaving to do. And then just go back.